Hello, everyone. Welcome to A Course in Miracles 365, Awakening to Love. I'm your host, Tomás Garza, and I thank you all for joining me here today, and thank you for all of the recent comments. We have had some fantastic discussion threads here on this live stream on Enlightened World Network, also on my personal Facebook page, Tomás Garza. We've had a lot of great observations and wonderful questions and answers in the past few days. So I want to encourage you to continue that thread. If you're catching me live here, feel welcome to say hello and put questions, comments as they occur to you in the comment thread, and I will look at them before the end of the live. I have a few remarks here. This is kind of the pattern. I'll welcome everyone, and we'll engage in some discussion about A Course in Miracles. Today, there are a couple of review ideas that we've seen before that we're going to take another look at because that's really, really valuable. Then we'll take some questions, comments, and if you're catching me on the replay, feel welcome to do the same here because I do check these from time to time during the day. So thank you for all of the likes, all of the shares. It's very wonderful to share this with people if you think this is of value. It might be of value to people in your network. There's some excellent, excellent programs here on Enlightened World Network, and this is just one of many. So feel welcome to peruse all of that. Check out the YouTube channel for Enlightened World Network. It's where every show, including this one, has its own playlist, and you can go and browse all of the back episodes. Now, this particular show has been running since January of this year, and we're in the segment of A Course in Miracles known as the Workbook for Students. It's perhaps the most famous, or if you prefer, infamous component of this self-study curriculum. And I invite you to check out all of the resources that are available online, not just this live stream, but anywhere if you're curious for more information about A Course in Miracles. Better yet, if this is new to you, let me know in the comment thread, and we can message each other. I can lead you in the right direction as far as resources and materials if that's of interest to you. So where we are is we're in the last few lessons, last few days of a review period where we're looking at ideas that we've previously covered, and we're looking at them again so that we can understand them better, so that we can better integrate these foundational spiritual principles into our lives, and so we can have a different lens on the idea, and we can have another opportunity to practice. This is really what it's all about in spirituality, isn't it? It's about each moment of each day being another opportunity to show up and to practice. Yeah, that's where the energy is, because as we find on the journey, it's not about belief, is it? It's not about believing that something is true or isn't true. It only gets you so far. It's about practice and experience. What we're aiming for is the direct experience of truth with a capital T, the direct experience of who we are. And then having had one direct experience, which is totally life-changing, by the way, then we keep going. We keep forgiving. We keep releasing that which no longer serves us. We keep disidentifying with the ego, until the point where these glimpses become more regular, to the point where they become constant and permanent, and then a realization dawns that this is who we really are and have always been, despite all our mad ravings, incessant wanderings, all of the drama that we put ourselves through. Now, in private videos, I like to use another word for drama. Has the letters B and S in it, because we put ourselves through that. By identifying with the ego, we create trouble for ourselves, and that's hardly arguable, right? I mean, what has happened? How have you felt in your life when you've been enraged? Yeah. How has it felt to you to be constantly frustrated? Maybe anxious, maybe you've suffered from depression, maybe you're going through all of that right now. Spiritual practice does provide us with the way out of all of that. Now, it's all in the mind, it's all internal. We can do physical exercises, we can do yoga, we can meditate, we can exercise the body, we can take walks on the beach, in the woods, in the desert, in nature, wherever you live. There's certain things that can be done, but this is all about getting and changing our minds, a different mind set. It's about seeing things differently. And often it means entertaining ideas that are startling to us. Shocking, maybe, even sometimes. Incredible, things that you don't feel you could possibly believe. And here's the beautiful thing. The workbook is full of these ideas. We're going to go over a couple of them here in just a minute, and you don't have to believe them. That's the beauty. It's the beauty of it. It's worth reiterating again and again and again and again and again and again and again. The Course is not asking you to believe everything just because it's written down and printed in a book. That's really not a good enough reason to insist that something is true if you've not had the true, deeply resonant experience of it. It's a different story, isn't it? So what we're doing in practicing these ideas here in A Course in Miracles, specifically in the workbook, is we're putting ourselves in a position by practice to have these experiences. Another way you might choose to look at that is we're reaching for this experience. We're aiming for this experience. We're creating the causes and conditions for it to dawn. How about that? There are many ways of looking at it. So let's look at the day's ideas. This is lesson 118, which is a review of two ideas we've covered previously here on the live stream. And they're ideas 105 and 106. Now, the workbook calls them lessons. There's no final exam, by the way, on any of this. I mentioned this yesterday. And yeah, we're encouraged to practice, but there's no one telling us that we absolutely must. We have free will, and we can take our time with this. Now, you might be motivated to do every practice period exactly as the instructions suggest, and if you are, fantastic. And inevitably, life comes at us, and there are bumps in the road. There are situations that occur, and that's just life. We remember the day's ideas. It's like a meditation. We get distracted, because we do. We get carried away. Remember the day's idea and bring our awareness back to that and pick up right there in the present moment, because it's all we've got. All right, so lesson 118, a review of lessons 105 and 106. So here's lesson 105. God's peace and joy are mine. God's peace and joy are mine. Now, in saying that, you're not usurping the peace and joy of God. You're not conquering or claiming it for yourself, wresting it away by force, at gunpoint, so to speak. Why? Because you're not separate from God. Deep down, I think that you know this. In fact, I know that you know this deep down. Now, whether you choose to acknowledge this or not is completely up to you. It is. It's completely up to you. God, being perfect love, wills only happiness for you. That's a paraphrase of an idea that we saw yesterday here in the show. And would never forcefully make you believe anything or force you to give up anything. There's no element of force involved in any way. God's peace and joy are yours. Why? You're one with God. All of us, each of us is. And I know, because you're watching this, deep down, that you do know this. In fact, each of us knows this. We've simply chosen to forget. Now, that may sound harsh to you. You might indignantly say, no, I haven't chosen to forget. Well, yeah, we all have. In fact, we all have obscured the truth with all of the stuff, the drama, the psychodrama that we engage ourselves in. And it's a lot. And the more you think about it, the more you realize, oh yeah, that's a lot. So what do we do about it? Well, show up and practice these ideas, for starters. This is all an exercise in training the mind. This is where the activity takes place, at the level of the mind. Now, of course, ultimately, we're not our thinking mind. We're not the body. We're not the thinking mind. We're not our surname. We're not our job title. We're not the geographical location in which we live. It's beyond reality. Truth, with a capital T, is beyond all of that. What we're doing with these exercises is we're preparing our mind to experience that truth. Truth, with a capital T. And what we've done in the world is we've made all kinds of substitutes for the peace and joy of God. We've sought happiness in a shiny new car, shiny new object, shiny new relationship. Yeah. Hot, sexy new lover. Yeah. Beautiful new threads. Yeah. We seek happiness in all kinds of places. Guess what? It's not lasting. So we're reminding ourselves in practicing this idea that God's peace and joy are ours. Okay. So next idea, lesson 106, is one that I love. It's one that I love. It's let me be still and listen to the truth. Yeah. Let me be still and listen to the truth. A bit of context for you for why this is so resonant for me is I am a long-time meditator. I've been meditating since the mid-1980s. I've had my own personal meditation practice, which has taken a number of different forms, but it's something that I've really spent a lot of time on in this lifetime. I'm also a meditation instructor, so I would say this, but this isn't me talking. This is A Course in Miracles talking. And I'm just reading lesson 106, let me be still and listen to the truth. Was no matter how much we may choose to deny it, actively or not, we find peace in stillness, in calming our mind. This is why meditation is such a thing in the world. It's why it is so important. That's why practice periods are so important. It's why devotional practices are so important. It's why prayer is so important. It doesn't matter what spiritual tradition you come from. Your practice is critically important because in stillness, we disidentify with the little voice in our heads that keeps saying, me, 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 me. I want this. I want that. My knee hurts. Yeah, I'm not comfortable sitting here. My knee hurts. I wonder what's on Netflix. Yeah, I'm kind of hungry. There's some leftover pizza in the fridge. Yeah, how tomorrow? Tomorrow, I guess the light bill's going to come tomorrow. I guess I'll go out and pay that tomorrow and go wash the car. And it's that train of thought. Small voice with the capital V is different, but our little voice just goes on and on. We call it monkey mind. It's almost like it's drunk because it's so random. I mean, really, it's like it's hit the pipe, to be honest, because it is so random. And, all you have to do is sit down and meditate for a few seconds or a minute to see that the mind just kind of wanders. We have all kinds of thoughts about the past, about the future. Rarely are we ever right here in the present moment, which is literally all we have. When we're still, we're able to hear a different voice. We're able to hear the voice for God in the parlance of A Course in Miracles, voice with a capital V, which is the Holy Spirit. That could be the voice of Jesus, could be the voice of Buddha. If you're a Buddhist practitioner, it could be the voice of your Lama or root teacher. If you're a Buddhist, it could be a voice of your human teacher, non-human teacher, your guides. In stillness, we can hear our guidance. We just let our own little voice that runs around thinking about tomorrow's lunch be still. It does calm down on its own. Yes, it takes practice. And no, it's not likely that you're going to acquire the wisdom of Buddha in meditating for 5 seconds. However, every second, every breath counts. And if you don't believe me, I invite you to try it. Try it for yourself, but really try it. And only you will know if you really gave it a good effort or not. Yeah, you would know. No one else. Yeah. I mean, who else would know, right? When we're still, we can hear the voice for truth. You can hear the voice of your inner teacher. That is why I'm here, is to help you get in touch with your inner teacher. I don't care what that is, or who that is, or what that looks like for you. What matters to me, and what should matter to you, is that you access that. Remove the barriers to this voice in your own heart, in your own mind. Remove the barriers to this voice so you can hear the voice for truth, which will, by the way, direct you exactly as to what to do, what to say. And if you let it take full control, then you go with the blessings of the divine. Everything you do serves the greater good. Everything you do will be in the service of love. Do you want this for yourself? Only you can answer yes or no to that. Here's the deal. Ultimately, each and every one of us will answer yes to that. It's only a matter of time, and in fact, according to A Course in Miracles, that is what time is for. So we can have the experiences that we're meant to have, good, bad, and ugly, right? Which will lead us to the place where we decide in favor of love. And by that, I mean love with a capital L, God, divinity, source, spirit. I don't mean our own territorial and transitory loves. I don't mean a weekend fling. I don't mean our tribal sense of love, where we define and defend personal territory like a family unit. Yeah. Like a state or a province, a nation, a political party or viewpoint. That's not what I'm talking about here. What I'm talking about is love with a capital L. When we make a decision for love in the present moment, everything changes for us. You may have had this experience. Yeah. And if you have not, I hope that you may. But it's a conscious choice that each of us is responsible for on our own. We have a strength at our disposal that we can scarcely imagine. So my wish for you is that you, step at a time, of course, remove the barriers to the presence of this voice so that you may hear it. Not him, not her, it. That's my wish for everyone as a spiritual teacher. So let's take a look and see who's joining us here today. Again, I thank you for all of the recent comments here on Enlightened World Network and also on my personal Facebook page. Now, I'll check both throughout the day here. There have been some really excellent comments and questions, and we've got several people on today. So let me say hello to you live here. Michelle, how are you? Very nice to see you. And Stephanie, hi from Green Valley, Arizona. All right, Arizona. It's in the house. Yeah, I'm here in Phoenix, and Arizona is in the United States. It's an international audience. And it's, it's summertime here in the Northern Hemisphere. We got temperatures in 100, 110s Fahrenheit, 40 degrees plus Celsius. We're here in the desert. All right, Michelle, welcome. And Stephanie, welcome again. And yeah, bring ourselves back to the thought, God's peace and joy are mine. Okay, so Stephanie, this is your comment. Yes, let's bring ourselves back to this again and again and again. You know, with these ideas, especially these review ideas, I encourage and invite you to read verbatim the instructions in the workbook for each day. And for the review periods, they're especially important because we're covering something again. We're hopefully seeing it maybe in a different light or a repeat light. I mean, the more times you see a movie, the more you pick up on, right? The more times you read your favorite novel, the more things you pick up on. Your depth of understanding increases. And that's the idea behind a review period here in the workbook. So if all that you do during the day is bring your mind and focus back to the day's idea, that is tremendous. We're retraining our mind, and these are powerful. I mean, this is a powerful statement, is it not? God's peace and joy are mine. Mine. I don't have to claim them or take them over. They're already mine. I'm merely accepting and allowing this. Yeah, I love it. All right. And thank you all for tuning in. And this is something that will be up on Enlightened World Network's Facebook page, a reminder that you can catch back episodes of this live stream on the YouTube channel for Enlightened World Network. Now, each show on the network, there's some wonderful programs. Each show has its own playlist. So I invite you to tune in there. And I will be back here tomorrow. This is a daily live stream, and we're going to continue for the next couple of days to finish this review period with lessons 119 and 120 in the workbook. Then on Saturday, we'll be on to some new ideas, and well, they all build on one another. So the more review you can do, the more reminders you can give yourself of who you really are, the better. So I thank you for tuning in here, and I will